Measuring things is part of a strategy, so you do need a digital strategy. You're probably thinking, why is there a slide on digital strategy? This is the webinar, measuring things on analytics. But if you look at the very end, the measurement comes at the end. So you do need to say, what am I trying to do here on social media or on my website or my app? What am I trying to achieve? What's the aim? It's to get downloads, it's to get people to watch a video, to get people to sign up to a newsletter. I don't know, but you need to have some sort of aim, some objective. And that's in your digital strategy. And who are you targeting? Who are your customers? Who are the audience? It's staycation or inbound visitors. Who are they? It's important to know that. Who are my customers? And I guess once you figured out who they are, where they hang out, what platforms they're on. They're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. You can't do all the platforms, so you have to kind of figure out where your customers are. Not the ones you like. Oh, I love Twitter, but if your customers aren't on them, don't use it. So figure out who your customers are, where they are, hanging out online, and you're going to be on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. Can you sustain that? It's like blogging. You need to blog every month. Can you sustain that? So that's important as well. You're going to create content for these platforms. And I guess your digital strategy is part of a larger marketing strategy. If you have one, that might include, I don't know, maybe you're doing TV or radio or ads or posters or something offline, but it's still marketing. But the digital strategy is your social platforms. And again, at the end of that, you're going to measure it and produce an ROI. A lot of people talk about ROI. It just stands for return on investment. You'll hear that a lot. I did work with a huge American company many, many years ago, and it was about all the digital and social. And the financial director was very keen on it, but he wanted an ROI. He said, I need to know, we're spending a lot of money on this, what's coming back? And we produced a massive document, very, very happy. But the chief exec was keen on it, and he basically said, look, the ROI, if we don't do this, we'll be out of business. That was his very sort of punchy, high level thing. But an ROI is how much you're spending minus what it costs. So the revenue, the income stream, take away what it's cost you. That's kind of profit, GP, gross profit, and you multiply it by 100 to create a percentage of return on investment. So we're talking about analytics in general. It's a big subject, and there's analytics everywhere. You can measure pretty much anything. You may have seen this slide before. It's kind of important. The customer journey. Discovery is important. We're going to have a webinar on SEO soon, search engine optimization, being found. You can pay for attention, but once you're found, once you're discovered online, good idea to get people to engage with you socially, like your Facebook page, maybe subscribe to your YouTube channel, something like that, but engage socially. And then they will look for validation, Facebook reviews, the Google reviews, TripAdvisor reviews. Keep in touch. Remember, this is non-linear. This is someone booking, becoming a customer, going to a visitor attraction, staying at your B&B, whatever it is, over here. And this is discovery. So it might be a month, 3 months, 4 months, who knows? And it's non-linear. So maybe get them to sign up for a newsletter, and then maybe they become a customer. So it's a journey that people come on, and understanding that journey. You can analyze all of that journey on analytics, which is great. The journey can affect things. So if you look here, and say you're looking at analytics and you see lots of people are on mobile devices, because it tells you they're on desktops, mobiles, tablets and phablets and things. You might want to check your website is mobile friendly. There's a tool called the Google Mobile Friendly Test. Or maybe your navigation isn't as good. Product, services, about us, who we are. Maybe you should swap them around. Most languages read left to right. 5 are right to left, but every other language in the world is left to right. So the left-hand navigation item is the most important one, followed by the next one, followed by the next one. So reorder them if it's not the way. And of course, the analytics will tell you, you need to add calls to action, sign up here, watch video, book this. They're really, really important. Calls to action should be everywhere. Every page on your website has a purpose, and every page is a call to action. The call to action doesn't have to be buying something. It might just be click here to read next page. It's just something to do, an activity. You can, on analytics, it's very powerful, this on your website. If you go to Amazon, everyone has a different Amazon experience. First time versus returning. So the first time somebody goes to your website, you might want to show them a fun video. Hi, welcome to the world of da-da, and it's a very interesting video. But for returning visitors, that's quite annoying. They have to watch this 2-minute video, and they know exactly what you do. So analytics will tell you that you don't have any returning visitors. They're all first time, perhaps. I don't know. That's maybe not a good thing. So it tells you what your audience want, and as a result of all of this analytics, you can produce, nice content, appropriate content with proper hashtags, and you know who you're talking to, and it's all part of your strategy. This is something you can print out later, and I'll come back to this. It's a good idea to have a little action plan. Okay, what are you going to do? What platforms are you going to do it on? Who's responsible to do it? And a date to do it as well. So you need a date to do this. That's important. Just a history of analytics. So some of you are old like me, you might remember things called hit counters. Hopefully you don't have these on your website. They're very, very old and dated. But that's what you used to get when so many hits, with 1,000 hits, 1,000,000 hits were really popular. And that was really all that you got. In the early days, it was like a hit, oh, that's a really popular bit. It's in the hit counter. And it's just a vanity metric. And in fact, hits are, I'm not sure what hits are. Hits are just somebody hitting the website. But I call hits, HITS, is how idiots track success. It's just a number, just a vanity metric. It's meaningless. Then it kind of moved on a bit, and you got these log analyzers. These were analyzing the server, and it was like, oh, quite busy at lunchtime. Loads of traffic inbound and outbound, but it was still a bit geeky, pie charts and things. Then it got, I guess, very geeky. Server statistics, CPU monitoring, and really, really bizarre. But this is what analytics was in the early days. And then you may recognize this. This was April 2015. Google acquired a company called Urchin Software, URCHIN, Urchin Software. And that's the Google Analytics that we all recognize now, with some really powerful metrics, and it's easier to understand than hit counters and numbers. So analytics is lots of stuff. It tells you what it does. It's, the data, admitting people here. If you've got goals, we'll talk about goals, we'll talk about conversion. But the analytics is going to tell you, did you achieve your goals? How are people going through your website, the golden path? Where are they going? They land on the homepage, they watch the video, they sign up, and then they book. So how do they behave? Is it what you wanted them to do? Do maybe you have to put calls to action here on pages with lots of visitors? Are they coming in on tablets, phablets, mobiles? What devices are they coming in on? Maybe you need to optimize the sites. Analytics can tell you all this sort of stuff. Google Analytics has got 4 sort of main reports. It's gone through a huge revision recently. The Google Analytics version 4 is out. I'll talk about that because it's quite important. But basically, there's an audience acquisition behavior and conversion report. So the audience helps you understand your users, what they're up to. The acquisition is, where have they come from? Well, they all came from Pinterest or Facebook, or they've come from Visit Scotland. Where have they actually come from? Who's the referrer of this traffic? Or maybe they went direct, maybe not necessarily an acquisition rate. They might have just typed www.mywebsite.com. That's direct traffic. No Google, just straight into the address bar. And what did they do on your site? What's their behavior? What's their exit pages? Where did they leave? What are they doing on your website? And of course, you want them to do what you want them to do. You've got plans for them. So conversion. So on Google Analytics, you can basically slice and dice the data and segment it in a million ways. We'll just kind of quickly go through. If you've not got Google Analytics, you need to get Google Analytics. I'm going to talk about lots of other analytics tools here, but it's a free tool, and you download it and you stick them. It's a bit of software code called JavaScript, 2 lines of JavaScript, and you stick them in your website. Theoretically, you have to put Google Analytics on every single page of your website, which is a bit annoying if you have a 600-page website. And you have to put it on every page that you want analytics to work for. Normally, you can put it in a common footer, and it'll work for every page, which saves you putting it in hundreds of pages. If you got a 4-page website, you could put it in all 4 pages, or you could just put it in the common footer, the code. There's lots of videos that'll tell you where to put it. Like HTML is the head, body. It just goes at just below the first head in the HTML code. But once you've set up the code, you just go into analytics like this, and it tells you everything. So having a look at what it tells you. So you're going to get information. You can look at real-time users, who's on my website, look at who they are, what they're up to, what they're doing, amazing amount of stuff. So let's just have a look at the real time. You can see here there's 22 people on this site right now. And most of them are on desktops. That's quite unusual, but that's just that particular screenshot. But you'll probably find most of them on mobile devices. And what are they doing? They've come from, where they've come from, who's the referrer of the traffic. Amazing, you can see what actual pages they're on. The vast majority appear to be on the home page, nearly half of them. And some of them are on this page, 9% have put something in a basket. So you can actually, this is real-time behavior. So it's very, very powerful. And then the audience overview, this is quite a big screen, quite a big report, the audience. Basically, you analyze analytics over a date. This is just a few days, May 30th to June. You can compare one year to another, so you do comparisons. But it tells you how many users have come on over that period. Many of them are new users. Number of sessions. I don't know if you're familiar with what a session is. A session represents a single visit to your site. What a session is. So if you go down here, you'll see sessions, single visit to a site. A page view is slightly different. That represents every time an individual time a page is loaded, or a page view, every page view is loaded. So as you can see there, a single session can include many page views. Okay, so the sessions are like a person visiting a site, a single visit to a site. They define, by the way, if someone comes to a site and they just don't do anything for 6 hours, the session times out, so that the default session, I think it's 30 minutes by default, it's 30 minutes. You can change that. A lot of people change it. You can just say, if there's been no activity for 30 minutes, we're not interested. They've died, they've left, they've abandoned, whatever. So if they've left or they've left, they define more than 30 minutes on a session, that means they've gone. You can also find out you can drill into all this, what country they've come from, a visitor, what city. A lot of anal detailed browsers, operating systems. I mean, it's interesting if you want to know what languages they're using. You can find out lots about your audience, an awful lot of information. And then acquisition, this is actually the old Google Analytics, but the acquisition tells me where they've come from and whether they're new users. The bounce rate, interesting stat, we'll talk about that later. That's the percentage of people who visit one and one page only. So if you look at this page down here, 62% of people are coming from YouTube to my website, abandon. They leave very quickly, that figure. Talking now about conversions. A conversion can be anything. You define what a conversion is. A conversion could be somebody downloaded some information. It doesn't have to be a sale. It often is, but that's a conversion. By now, it's a kind of an obvious conversion. You're selling something. Or there's Business Gateway's website, a conversion, get some support, or click on live chat. You could analyze, many people click live chat. Was it worth it? Should we be manning this live chat? You might not have live chat on your site. You might think, do we need it? But you need to measure that sort of stuff. Here's other ones. These are conversions. Download something from Business Gateway. Downloads. These are conversions. I want people to download it, and I want to measure which was the most popular. Are people interested in security, privacy, GDPR, or videos? What's the most important one? So what you do is, these conversions, you set up goals. Right? This is Google Analytics. And a goal is something you want to achieve. It sounds kind of obvious. So there are different types of goals. You may have all of these or none of these. So the business objective is, I've got an e-commerce site. I sell things. I've got a little, distillery, and got a little shop. And we're online. We sell stuff. So it's e-commerce. So the goal is a sale of a product will be a goal. Actually, we don't sell things. It's just lead generation. We collect data and we keep in contact with visitors and things. So contact information. Or we publish content, we're publishers of content, so you might want to monetize that with ads. Or we're just building brand. That's less so, but big companies are building brand. They're driving awareness. These are your goals. So the obvious ones, if you're selling something, it's an e-commerce goal. It says here, a goal is how we measure a conversion. There's two types of conversions. There's micro conversions and macro, which have maybe been written a lot the other way around. So it says here, lots can happen on the way to a purchase. You sign up for a newsletter, you wait a product, you watch a video, and then the e-commerce sale, if you like. It's a very short video, this one, so hopefully it plays. It's one of the Google employees explaining what goals are and conversions.
Goals are a really important feature in Google Analytics. It's how we measure conversion or business objectives on your website. Now, we divide these conversions into two groups, macro conversions and micro conversions. Let's talk about e-commerce for a second. The macro conversion is a sale. You want people to come to your website and buy a product. But there are lots of other conversions, micro conversions, that happen on the way to that purchase. Some common micro conversions could be signing up for the newsletter, viewing a product video, or rating a product. All of these visitor actions are really important because they help build a relationship with the customer or the potential customer that will ultimately lead to the macro conversion.
Hopefully that makes sense. I kind of covered that, the micro and the macro conversions, two types. The macro is the high level, the sale, that someone's booked a conversion to come to a visitor attraction, but on the way, over time, looking at analytics, people do certain things. So 4 types of goals in analytics. This is quite important to understand. There's a destination goal, duration, pages visit, and events goal. So destination goal is quite simple, and you just say the goal is, if somebody gets to that page, that's a goal. That's a success. That's a goal. And it might be the thank you page. Thank you for buying my product. Thank you for registering. Thank you for signing up. They get to a page called thankyou.html. You only get there when you buy something, when you book something. So that would be a destination goal. You've reached a certain page on my website, and you only get there if you buy things. Duration goal, you could say, if somebody spends a certain amount of time on a page, then that's a goal. Maybe it's a good one or a bad one, I don't know, but you can measure it. Time. Or if somebody views so many pages on a website, very interested in doing lots of pages, 10 pages, 5 pages, that could be a goal. Or an event goal. You can measure somebody's watched a video, somebody's clicked on an ad, or partially watched a video. You can see you know, you can measure different bits of videos. So really, really important to understand these different these goals. So again, a goal doesn't have to be a sale. It could be somebody's clicked call now, somebody's downloaded a brochure, somebody's signed up for something, or somebody's asked some questions, somebody's clicked live chat. These are goals, and you'll find out, hey, no one's using the live chat. How do you know? We've got a goal set on that button, and it's never been clicked. Nobody's ever clicked it. Nobody's ever seen it for whatever reason. It doesn't work. This is how you set them up when you go into Google Analytics. The admin, it doesn't say this here, but it's over here, goals on the right-hand side. You click goals, and when you go into goals, it actually says, here's the 4 types of goals. A destination goal, somebody's actually got to a certain page. That's fantastic. Somebody's been on the website more than 5 minutes, say. Somebody's viewed more than 3 pages, say, or somebody's done something like played a video, an event. Okay, so these are the different types of goals. If I go back there, under account settings, it's a good idea to, in the filter, to put in your IP address, your unique number on the internet. It's like a phone number, to remove that from Google Analytics. Because I've seen a lot of companies saying, oh, we set up Google Analytics and our website's really busy. We've got hundreds of visitors a day, and it's actually all the staff visiting the site or going in or signing up for things. And you think, oh, right, can we not exclude the office, exclude your destination? You don't want to count you, and maybe you can even do home. You can say to the staff, what's your IP address at home? I want to exclude that, because we're fooling ourselves with thousands of visitors a day, and there's actually 5 or 6. We think there's thousands. It's actually all of us visiting the site and using the site. So you probably don't want to count staff. I don't ever get one of these for Christmas years ago, these little bouncy things. This is bounce rate. Now, Google Analytics have moved away from bounce rate, but it's still worth talking about. A lot of people still talk about it. They've moved towards engagement rate, a more positive thing. So a bounce rate is a kind of negative term, and it is a very high level kind of vanity metric. If you go into Google Analytics homepage, bounce rate for this website is 60%. You're like, what does that mean? It means nothing. It's an average. So you need to drill into the details. If suddenly a 3-month-old baby appeared in this webinar, the average age is 12. Nobody's 12, but that's the average age. So bounce rate and all these high level vanity metrics, you need to drill in for each page. But as it says, the bounce rate is the percentage of people who visit one and one page only. They come in and they leave. They watch a video, they leave. They sign up, they leave. The home page is quite common, and people bounce from that page. And again, depending on country, depending on type of website, depending on so many things, but 30, 40, 50, 60% bounce rate is not uncommon. If a 30, 40% bit is not bad, it's just, that's norm. People's attention span is falling, and they leave, they abandon and things. So 0% bounce rate means every visitor visited more than one page, right? If it said 60% bounce rate, that means 60% of people visited one and one page only and left. If it said 0% bounce rate, it'd be almost impossible. That means everybody visited tons of pages, well, more than one. Okay, so you do want a low bounce rate. That's a good thing, a low bounce rate. 100% bounce rate means every single person that comes to your website visits the contact page and leaves, visits the what page and leaves, but they just come in and they bounce out. Not good. Very rarely a high bounce rate is good. It's quite rare this, but say you were running a campaign and you had an ad and you wanted to drive people to a very special page with lots of actions, sign up, do this, put your name in here, that you don't want them to go to contact us. There's no navigation. Just this, I don't like this. It's this page, they're kind of trapped. They can just close the browser, but they're trapped on this page and they fill it in and they get their free something. It's kind of, maybe not devious, but that would have a very high bounce rate because nobody's going anywhere. So, things to measure in Google Analytics and to look out for, obviously bounce rate's one of them, but it's now called engagement rate, a much more positive thing. But just overall traffic growth. Is your traffic growing? And again, I don't like traffic, it's like the hits, but because it's humans, it's visitors. And where are they coming from? Is it social media? Is it Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever we're doing, is it working? Is that useful thing? And again, keep an eye on new versus returning. Returning customers are good because they're brand aware, they know what you're doing, they're just looking for something to do Easter. They're not. New customers are also good, but just look at the ratios. There's no like, you have to have 50-50. There are no rules, but you should be aware. And if they're all just returning, that means something's wrong. There's no new people. You're not being found in Google. It's only old people that know about you. And if they were all new, it would be odd that no one ever came back. Maybe the offering's not very good. So you want you want both. And search engine visibility, are you being found on what engines? So I've put some links in here for you. This is both YouTube. This is a YouTube link. This is the Google Analytics YouTube channel. In fact, it's massive. There's literally thousands of videos there about Google Analytics. And the new Google Analytics version 4 is worth learning about. It's worth going on a Google Analytics webinar. It's different, and you do have to get your head around it. The school of thought says if you just created a brand new website today, get Google Analytics 4 on it, no question. If you've got an old website that's been going 3, 4, 5 years and you've got Google Analytics, we'll say you don't have Google Analytics, put 4 on it. If you do have Google Analytics, what do? Because you've already got Google Analytics. How do you upgrade to 4? Those videos will explain it. And the school of thought, a lot of people are saying, is keep the old Google Analytics running for, say, a year and have the new one as well. So you're gathering, because they're different, they gather different information, they look different, and then maybe after a year, abandon it. That's what a lot of people say. There's analytics everywhere. So analytics in social media, Facebook, you can measure your likes, comments, shares, measure reach, whether it's organic or natural reach. You paid for paid reach as well. You might have clicked boost. Lots of things to measure in there. So social media, Facebook, and the insights. This is the sort of basic one, like, comment, share, measuring, but also growth of followers. What content type works? Because you notice stuff with pictures gets more likes, comments, shares. Something in video gets even more likes, comments, shares. Just text doesn't, and you would know that. What type of people are visiting your website? How long are they visiting your page, your Facebook page for, and what are they doing? How are they engaging? So all that's available in Facebook Insights. Very, very detailed analytics, and probably should be part of that action plan. This is what the insights looks like. You can see what they're doing in a page and see who it's reaching. So you can see there, that's quite good. That was a 1 month period in May. And they got, this is the page likes, not the post likes page. So it's like, you know, your Facebook page, your Facebook profile, someone friends you on a Facebook page, they like you. So nearly 1,000 you liked that one. And you can see paid versus organic. They've been paying. That's certainly paid off. It may not pay off. You have to measure it. If you go into posts, you can see every individual post. And you haven't done it here, but if you pull down here, you'd be able to say like, comment, share, 3 bars. And you would say there's a post on that date at that time. All of this is important because there's no rules. You have to figure out, when should I post? I don't know. You go, the morning, and it doesn't. It depends when your customers are on. And one of the things in Insights under above posts, actually above here, you can't see it, that's actually there, is when your customers are online. That's it. There, look, it's 7 o'clock at night. Less of them, unfortunately, the graph's not there. So under posts, it actually tells you at the top when your customers are online, and then it tells you who your customers are. Mind-blowingly important. But here, I've shared something here. Issue management. How boring is this? That's a link. There's no picture. 1 like, no share, no comments, and I haven't shown shares, but it was 0 shares. But here, there's a picture, pictures, but then there's more likes, comments, shares. Why is that? Perhaps it's the picture, perhaps it's the time of day, who knows? Unfortunately, you have to figure it out, but the analytics here tells you when your customers are online, and it tells you how they're interacting with your content. And you can look and go, in general, yeah, pictures seem to get a lot more likes, comments, shares, of course, and videos even more yet. And I found out the morning when they're on, I'm getting more engagement. So you have to kind of figure this out, but this tool is amazing. So here's this. If I click people, I think most of their customers are women, or men rather. No, they're not. They're women. All right, well, it's probably teenage women. You go, no, they're not. This is telling you the facts. Most of the people that like your page aren't men, they're women. And most of them aren't teenage women. They're 30 to 40. Oh, right, okay. And then down below that, you can't see it, but it'll tell you, are they American? Nope, they're actually British. Well, probably from London. Nope, it tells you they're actually from Central Belt Scotland, Glasgow and Edinburgh. And you're like, wow. So you're learning now who these people are and what age they are and where they live and what languages they speak. Really, really important to have a look at Facebook Insights. You can see how long people watch videos for. On Twitter, Twitter's a bit disappointed. Fantastic product, but the analytics are kind of crude, right? They're pretty crude. It says, you know, follower growth. There's my little pathetic attempt at a Twitter profile, and I don't even use it really. I've got, you know, I follow a couple of thousand people and a couple of thousand people follow me back, basically. That's called the golden ratio. You want more of them, and I'm just on the right side of being bad. So you want more followers than followers. There is another tool called, there's Twitter Analytics. It's really poor. So in the month of October, 3 followers abandoned me and I gained this. It's really bad. you know, so many 1,200 people saw my tweets and 67 people visited my profile. It doesn't matter, the profile is less important. I'm -5 in followers, but it must be awful. But it's quite crude. It's not very, very detailed. There are third-party tools. There's one called Hootsuite. This is it here. It looks a bit overwhelming. I'm going to do a quick demo of Hootsuite because it's so good. Sorry, not Hootsuite. It's called Twitonomy. Twitonomy. The Twitonomy. Twitonomy is a free analytics tool for Twitter. So you just sign in with your Twitter handle. There you go. Sign in, and it gives you all your data on your page. And you kind of know it anyway. So you think, what's the point? I know I've done 1,600 tweets in my life, and there's the followers and following. I know this. And there's my name. Yeah, right, okay. If I go into profile, it gives me a little bit more detail about me. You know, I'm tweeting 0.3 times a day on average. And I've got there's so many links in my tweets, how many people retweet me, how many replies I've had, how often I've used hashtags, you know, over the years, how often I've tweeted, users that most retweet me, users that most reply to my tweets, hashtags that I've used most, tweets that have been most, you know, I mean, it's nice, it's beautifully laid out, but here's the beautiful bit. I've got a competitor, and I'd like to know all that about them. Remember, I'm tweeting 0.38 times a day. I thought it was doing quite good. Pretend my competitor is Mashable. That's a blog. Just pretend it's not. Pretend they are. This is me now using Tweetdeck, the free tool, to analyze a competitor. My goodness, 119 tweets a day. This guy's busy. He's got a huge team. He's a big blogging company. He started up in Aberdeenshire, but they're now in New York. So I need to up my game. And then he's tweeting pretty much constantly. I can see what platforms he's using down here. It'll tell me. He's using what hashtags he's using. There's the platforms, hours of day, days of the week. He's using TweetDeck and Social Flow. He's not using Hootsuite. I thought it would be, but I can find out when they tweet, what time of day they tweet. That's really, really powerful information to get. So I can also analyze my own profile, things that would take me days and days and days to analyze. Like, for example, let's just go back to me, and I could click who are, taking a few seconds to reset, force it. Right, who are my followers? This is people that follow me, my followers. Yeah, well, I could click on Twitter and it would tell me, but this way it's going to analyze them and slice and dice them by ones that engage, ones how long they've been on Twitter, when they joined, how active they are, who's got the most followers. So I've got lots of travel and tourism coming up in a second. It's analyzing basically every single one of my followers, and then I can slice and dice them in pie charts. You can save all this and download it as well. So it's a really powerful tool, Twitonomy. You'll learn a lot about your customers, your competitors as well. I think it's taken too long to load this. I'm just going to abandon it. You just have to believe me. You're going to see all my followers, and then you can see here. Oh, here it is. Here, my followers. So I can sort it by the date they joined Twitter, by the number of tweets. So there's a person, Marsha Wright, 1.9 million tweets. By their followers, which people that follow me have got the most followers, Lonely Planet. So really, really powerful. So I can see my most influential followers. Remember, influencers are important. Customers pay for things. They come on holiday, and the influencers could be the kids. They're on Snapchat and who knows what, and they influence their parents' buying habits, holidays, and everything. So you find out who they are. Use it. A lot of people use hashtags, and they're very, very, very powerful hashtags, and they're invented on Twitter, and they're huge on Instagram, and most platforms now, even LinkedIn. So, but you can actually analyze your hashtags and track them. But it's quite important. I used to use this on hashtags.org. They're all much of a muchness, but hashtags.org, I've just invented this hashtag called Sunny Day in East Lothian. Has anyone used it? Well, yep, it was used in, oh, right, okay, it was used for a campaign. I don't want to be messed up with that. Or maybe it was used inappropriately in something in Indonesia or something odd, and you think, oh gosh, I'll be mixed up with all that stuff. So hashtags.org is a good place. If you're going to use a hashtag, if it's hashtag tasty, hashtag delicious, it doesn't matter that everybody uses them, hashtag sunny day, but something unusual like a conference, check it's not been used before or abused before, even worse, or it doesn't mean something rude. So you can measure all your hashtags here. Instagram's got better over the years. It's on my Facebook, obviously, as is WhatsApp and Messenger and all these tools. But basically, click on the top right-hand side, you go into Insights, and you get analytics, the profile visits, web clicks. most people are consuming Instagram on, it's the second most powerful social media platform in the world, second largest number of audience on mobile. Some people are using it on desktops, but it's mostly mobile. So you can find out an interactions on a specific post, the content. Okay, this is the audience, who they are, what age they are, who they are, where they live, what countries, what days of the week, whether they're male or female, all that data. And if it's a specific post, you only see this, other people don't. You would see view insights. I could look on the app and I view the insights for that post that tell me how many likes, comments, shares. They've taken all this out, but it's very sad because kids and things like competing and who gets the most likes and people commit suicide and horrible things. And so people don't see this now. You see it, but consumers don't see the number of likes anymore on your post on Instagram. They've taken out globally. You can see the reach. Many people have used your hashtags and everything. So many of you use LinkedIn. It's more B2B LinkedIn, but like encouraging business people to come and have conferences or something if you've got space. You can measure. This is not your LinkedIn profile. That's your CV or resume. This is your LinkedIn page. So there's a business page, and it's obviously businessy. So it's broken down by job functions and how many senior people and how many CXOs and executives have viewed your page, how they've interacted with it. So it's quite businessy, but that could be important for you if you're doing sort of outbound tour operators or something. You're targeting people, or events management. Any of you use Pinterest? Pinterest got really good analytics in it. It's okay. It's got better over the years. But I want to know what's my most popular board, or my most popular pin, or are people repinning my pins, or are people commenting on my pins? Well, I can look and spend hours, but the analytics tells me all this. I can search by device, people on desktops, mobiles, whether they're, looking at my comments. People have commented. You can find basically everything. Slice and dice it by audience and impressions and everything. There is a better tool, Tailwind. It's a third-party tool, this one here. I used to use PinReach. I think it's part of Tailwind now, and it gives you much better Pinterest analytics, very, very detailed than it is there. It's very beautiful as well. It's nice, virality scores and how viral you are. The thing about Pinterest is it should be the second biggest referrer of traffic. You create a board, you have a title, a description, and you put pins on a board. The pins can be pictures or videos, but normally pictures, images. And people click on it, they get a bigger picture, they click again, they go to your website, they deliver you traffic. So they should refer you traffic. So Pinterest should be really important. I'm not sure many of you use YouTube, but it's the second most searched site in the world. So it's owned by Google, obviously. It's a very, very, very important site. But you have to be careful about the metrics in here. There's a whole YouTube analytics, and it's really, really powerful. You can find if you've posted 20 videos, who's engaging, where are they from, the demographics, it's all there. I'm not sure if we get time to watch this video. Maybe come back to this video for a time. You will get the slides. You'll be able to click on this video. It's just talking you through YouTube analytics. Be very careful about the analytics in here, because a little story. I used to have a YouTube channel that was about mathematics, and I used to post videos on it. And a number of people that viewed it were typically 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, 0, 3, 0, 0, 1. In other words, pathetic numbers, but it didn't put me off. I was passionate about this cryptography thing that I was talking about. So one day Barclays Bank phoned me and they said, Steve, we're going to pay you to come to London, we're going to pay for your flight, we're going to pay for you to do a video, it's a half-hour video, and you talk to our customers about public key cryptography. I was like, oh, okay, that'd be nice. So I did that. And then just after it, they said, we're going to put it, we've got about 70 sites. There's Barclays Wealth Management, Barclays Bank, loads of sites. And we're going to put the YouTube video up there. And I thought, that's great, good. I said, could I put it on my site as well? And they said, tell you what, you put it on your site right now, here's the video, and we'll link to your YouTube channel. I knew it was going to happen. I'm going to get the traffic. So I put it on that. When I got home, I had just under 3 million views. And I was so excited because I thought, I'm rich and I'm famous. But neither were true, because that's a vanity metric. And I looked in the analytics, you have to drill into the detail. 3 million is just a big meaningless number. And I looked, I thought, no, they're from 103 countries. I am rich and famous. They're not. They're real, and they're all humans. There's no bots. Oh my God, I'm going to be super rich and super famous. Still not true. There's a metric in there called, I'll show you what it looked like. If you perhaps draw this, what it looked like. So it's called retention. And it looked like this. This is the metric, one of the metrics. So yes, here's the number of visitors up here. And it was 3 million. And there's time flowing this way. Here's the beginning of the video. There. Delusionally, the video was 30 minutes long. You tell me when you last watched anything 30 minutes long. So it started here. 3 million people watch my video. Yeah, I'm famous. No, get it right. 3 million people started watching a video. It went like this. Please don't laugh. Right, so after 5 seconds, 90% of the people are going, it's a guy in a shirt and tie. There's no hamsters jumping off wardrobes and beaching them out of here. After 10 seconds, 99.9% have abandoned. After 20 seconds, do you know how many people got to the end? 2. I was one of them, and my mum was the other. I went to the toilet. I didn't actually watch it. I just laid in and I went away. Didn't watch myself. And my mum, she had very shaky tremor at the time of her hands. She watched it, and I'm sure she's probably going, oh, this is awful. How the hell do I stop this video? So the truth is, nobody watched my video. So be very, very, very careful about vanity tricks. So so many likes, so many comments, so many shares. It's all, you need to drill into the detail. How many people actually watched your video? None. To completion. And that's important. Human attention span, 12 seconds at the turn of the century, currently 6. If you think of all these TikTok 15 seconds, that you don't even make 3-minute videos. I'd say all videos should, on a website, unless it's deep inside somewhere, should be probably under a minute, well under a minute. Get the message across, then they can join and subscribe and get into further detail. If you're using Bitly, that's the website that shrinks things down. So big, long, special Easter offer, www, and it's too long and people might wrap and it won't be able to click on it. So you can shrink it down with this thing called Bitly. There used to be a Google one called goo.gl, but it's short. It's a URL shorter and it makes it nice and short. But if you join Bitly and it's free, you can see analytics. You can see how many people clicked on your link and where they are, what countries they're in. That'll be interesting. If you've put a link out there on Facebook, who clicked on it, I'm not really sure. So Bitly's got its own detailed analytics. Mailchimp obviously is analytics, because if you're sending a little mail shout to 1,000 customers or 1,000 people, you've got a database and you send it out, Mailchimp's going to tell you, out of the 1,900 received it, 100 bounced. Gosh, they're gone, they're dead, they're away. Oh, right, okay. So don't take them off the list, clean the data. And then out of the 900, 600, that's quite high, clicked on the email, opened it. Wow, but 300 didn't even open the email, but 600 opened the email. And out of the 600, 100 clicked on the link. Oh, it's just getting smaller and smaller. And then you can look at the Google Analytics as well. So Mailchimp analyzes it, tells you if you're going to send out, it's actually free just for a small number of users, about 1,000 customers. So Mailchimp's really good, does reports. And if you send a little mail shot out, it paginates it and spell checks it and says, it's not going to look good on an iPad or iPhone. It makes sure it's mobile friendly. So not just a website, but mail shots have to be mobile friendly. I mentioned these products earlier on. They're huge products. They're very important. Hootsuite, Buffer, and Later. You've probably heard of Hootsuite. Maybe some using Buffer and some using Later. Later was initially an Instagram scheduling tool. Hootsuite, what most people know these for is syndication. So I type, hello everybody, sunny day, don't post once and it goes to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. So it saves me time. That may be a good thing. Certainly saving time is a good thing, but it might not be appropriate because maybe you should have different content on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest, but they certainly do that. But there's lots of good analytics at the back end of these as well. Google My Business, a very, very important product. If you're not in Google My Business, please register for it. It's totally free. And the thing that appears at the right-hand side, if I typed in, let's go to, hopefully this will appear, Seabird Center. There is there, seabird.org. No, that is Google My Business, all this stuff. Okay, so that's nice to see the posting there. And look, you can take bookings. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but you can do e-commerce, you can sell things from the homepage. I've not even gone to the website, I don't know what it's like. And I can see photos of the Seabird Centre. It's inspiring me, my goodness. I can see the Bass Rock and everything. It looks wonderful and fresh air. I'd love to go there. This is all in Google My Business. Google Photos, Google Maps, Google 360, Google Reviews, Google Posts, Google Questions and Answers, Google Products, and Google Posts. So in Google My Business, which is free, the Bing equivalent is called Bing Places. If you're really serious about customers, maybe 10% at max of Americans will use Bing. The analytics is here, insights. It's a bit crude. It's a wee bit crude. This is my personal one. So how many people have typed this to find me? That's okay. This is on the phone. Many people have used the listing on the map. Many people clicked, on the phone. It says call. None. Quite sad. Nobody called me. Maybe So many people message you, that's Google Messenger is there, like Facebook Messenger. So you can find there's analytics for Google My Business. Was it useful? Did anyone visit the website from there? You go, wow, this is amazing. Half of all of this is, let's pay attention. Let's put products up there. Let's put posts that we should be posting every week, because they disappear. So the Google Search Console is another amazing product that's got analytics in it. So remember, Google Analytics tells you who came, how long they stayed, what they did, where they visited. The Google Search Console tells you things like, oh, I've got a broken site or a broken link or somebody's hacked us, but also tells you, much more importantly, the keywords that you rank for. Wow, what does that mean? Down here, all blurred out, but never mind. This term down here, it says you're on position 1, page 1, position 1. Wow, fantastic. This term here, right, visit Untitled Castle or something, whatever it is, pretend 10.6. Oh, that's page 2. That's, who knows what's in page 2. Nobody goes there. You don't have a business for this term. So if you want to be found for that term, because look, there's 378 times it appears, 37 people are clicking on it. It's about a 10% click-through rate, but you're on page 2. You're lucky to get anything on page 2. So Google Search Console tells you what people type in to find you and where you are in Google for that term. And you might go, we want to be number 1. We're on page 1. You know, normally for your brand, you're page 1, but for other terms. So the good news is, because you might be overwhelmed and think, gosh, there's Google Analytics, now there's Google Search Console, and it's just too much. Google Analytics, when you set it up, you can link Google Search Console to it, so the Google Search Console is inside, or leave it like this separate. If you want 2 logins and 2 different websites, fine. But you can put them together, so you just log into Google Analytics and the Search Console's inside, so you don't have to have 2 logins or 2 windows or 2 tabs open to make it easy. SpyFu is an amazing product. This is an analytics product. Very, very first time I saw this, I thought, that should be illegal. What SpyFu allows you to do is type a competitor's website in there, and it tells you what they're spending on ads, and it tells you what words they're bidding for or phrases, and it tells you how successful they are, and is there seasonality. You'll have a competitor somewhere, and they might be miles away, they might be in the Borders or Shetland, but technically the tourist comes, they don't know anything, they have no idea. Just heard of Sheep and St Andrews and they don't really know about Murray, Speyside or East Lothian. They don't really know about all these destinations. They just know about things and things they want to see. So technically your competitors can be anywhere. So it's good to learn, even if you're a hotel in North Berwick, you think there's a hotel in Edinburgh, but no, they might, have a look at what words they're bidding for. And you can learn a lot and how successful they are. So SpyFu, that's the free version. There's SpyFu, SpyFu Pro, and then SpyFu University. So it's a really good tool. Oops, I've just clicked on it by accident. To go there. You can also type in a word, not a person. So I could type in the word hotels in North Berwick. Who's bidding for that? Who's bidding for that phrase? Oh, that's the 3 hotels that are my competitors. They are. Yeah, but so you can type a competitor's name, the URL, www, whatever, or you could type a phrase, something. SimilarWeb is also an amazing tool. You want very quickly looking at SimilarWeb. It's an analytics tool. It's a competitor's analytics tool. And what it does is it analyzes their website, tells you everything about them. You can look at the website and go, nice shiny website, nice interesting keywords, lovely calls to action, nice translations. I love the website. It's really good. You maybe do all that. But who visits it? How long do they stay? How many pages do they visit? I don't see the Google Analytics. No, you don't. But you will here. So you type in a site, SimilarWeb. It's a free. There is a free version. The free version is stunning. You can get a lot. You might want to pay. So I've just typed in Hilton.com and said, go and analyze that website for me. And it says, oh, there's the mobile. And it says it's an accommodation provider app. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is the Google Analytics. They're receiving 13.9, it's vanity metrics, be careful, but they're receiving 13.9 million visitors a month. And they stay, it's quite a long time. You look at your Google Analytics, maybe don't stay as long. Pages, they visit 5 something pages. The bounce rate, that's that old figure. So 30% of people that visit www.hilton.com go in and out. That's a low bounce rate. And you can even go up here and say, compare Hilton with me, or compare Hilton with Marriott. And it says Marriott's in orange. Gosh, even more traffic, even more visitors. But they don't stay as long. They don't visit as many pages and more bounce. Probably, am I allowed to say a crappier site? Who knows? It may not be true. Okay, so I did .com. So SimilarWeb is telling me 79% of visitors are from the United States, followed by UK. This is where the traffic's coming from, my competitor. So analytics is direct. I mean, people are brand aware. They know how to spell Hilton and they've gone www.hilton. That's a huge figure. 43% of all the traffic, people go www, type in referrals. That's backlinks from another site. Who knows where? Who knows where? But another site has linked them. Search, probably Google. Because we're in the middle of COVID and it's the weirdest thing in the world, it's messing up things, people's lives and horrible. But normally, this is an accommodation provider. So normally, this is the website. And over on the left, this is just such juicy information, is the referring sites. Where are they getting their business from? Now, Google, okay, half of it comes through Google. It's understandable. But normally here you would see Kayak, Travelocity, Expedia, Booking.com, the OTAs, the online travel agents for Hilton normally. But it's a bit messed up because everything's messed up just now. And this is my competitor, the analytics. 85% of their traffic is natural organic, good SEO. They've been on the SEO webinar. But they're buying 40%. They're doing the Google Ads thing, the old AdWords. They're doing Google Ads. What words are they buying? There they are there. Click to see even more. And then just for them, social media, Facebook brings them more traffic, followed by, doesn't talk about conversions, just volume, followed by YouTube, followed by, maybe we should be in Twitter, Pinterest. And then it goes on forever, display advertising, it's huge. And then it says, you've typed in Hilton, Steve. I found these other companies, it's guessing. And it says Marriott, we think is also an accommodation provider. Never heard of them, probably are. IHG, never heard of them. Hyatt, never heard of them. I have heard of them, obviously, right? And it's guessing correct. Guessed wrong. The bottom two there, hotels is an OTA and Booking.com is an OTA. But the others are hotels. Then it says, that Android thing, the Play Store. Hilton have got some apps. Maybe we should get that. One in the App Store, they've got apps as well. You can get a Chinese one. So okay, it's a big company, but that's the free version. It's just stunning information about your competitor. Really, really important intelligence. So similar web, definitely worth looking at. Google Trends, I think I mentioned this before to people, but it's probably the most powerful tool that Google have ever unleashed. What it allows you to do is to search what people are searching for on Google. And you think, oh, that's a bit voyeuristic. Never mind the voyeurism. If you can search for what people are searching for, that means you can find out where's the demand for what I do. Is it Central Belt Scotland? Is it Home Counties England? Is it Southeast Asia? I don't know. Where are people searching for places to stay in East Lothian or hotels and Haddington? I don't know. Where are they? Where are these people? Is there seasonality? I can tell you. My goodness, it's your business. You have to know. So head over to Google Trends and you type in, we sell whiskey. We've got a whiskey distillery. So just when I type in whiskey, all I'm saying is, has anybody ever, that's the US, I'm not interested. Let's just do UK. I'm just saying, has anybody ever typed that word into Google and it goes, yep, there's a few, over the last 12 months, the last hour, that's over the last 10 years. Go for the whole thing. And you go, wow, look, it's growing. And there seems to be a spike. What's that? Christmas, December, probably consumption, maybe gifts, but, So, I could even compare it with, because some people, this is the Irish spell it like this. A similar curve, similar curve. But I reckon if I went to USA, a lot of American customers, the red one will probably be on top, or maybe a bit bourbon or something. But there it is. They use the Irish spelling more. So I'm learning about my customers now. So it's a very, 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 very powerful tool. But please be careful with it because you can go so badly wrong. I've seen people, if I typed in holidays in East Lothian, holidays in Scotland, where do people type that in? We know there's the USA, so let's just go to worldwide. Where are people typing that word? Where are my customers? It's us, it's staycation. Let's go into the UK. Where in the UK? It's us, it's Scottish people. Where in Scotland? Just keep drilling. Looks like Central Belt, ish. It's Glasgow, Cumbernauld, Dundee, and what are they typing? Schools, caravan holiday, bank holiday, school holiday. You can find the words they're searching for. And if I came back out of the UK, I did worldwide, forgetting St. Helena, the Americans aren't there, so the data's wrong. Come in their droves to Scotland. Well, the data's perfect. The Americans are a different country with a different people with a different language, and they don't type holiday, they type vacation. A holiday is Martin Luther King or July 4th. So I've asked the wrong question, and I've come up with rubbish data. The data's perfect. The French, they're number 5, according to Visit Scotland. Where are they? Data's wrong again. Nope, the data's perfect. The French they use Google.fr. They type vacances on it. They type French. So use Translate to find them. A lot of people say, hey, Google Analytics, it's kind of geeky and all these analytics tools. It measures all the online world. But you know what? I spend money on, the Dundee Courier and the London Underground. Or we've got a wee advert in the Herald or the Press and Journal. But and that might work. That might be good. There's nothing wrong with offline. You can blend the two. I remember seeing an ad years ago, and I think it was Reebok, and it was on TV, national TV in America, and it was like Reebok, and it just stopped. And it was like, it was quite an exciting bit. It was just like 10 seconds of it. And it said, want to know what happens next? And you did, because it's quite exciting. And it says www.reebok.com/whatever. And so the two, they're trying to merge. They're very clever. But these things, I've spent money here on a bus shelter, a poster. I've spent money on the London Underground. Did it work? Oh, I think so. We got busy. Yeah, but did that work? Or was it just people, believe it or not, might surprise you. There's an amazing tool called the Google Campaign URL Builder. And what it allows you to do, there's the link there, you're going to get the slides, is type in your address here, www.mywebsite.com, and then say campaign source, the Glasgow Herald, or whatever it's called, the Medium newspaper, campaigns, Easter offer, 2 for 1, and then you click generate, and it generates a big long, horrible big long URL, a big link, which takes them to a specific page. But that particular link is only for the bus shelter in Aberdeen, the London Underground Victoria Station ad that you did. That's just that one ad. And you can have a wee QR code of it. So when people go to the QR code, it says, come to East Lothian for, oh my God, you'll know, oh my God, like there was nobody did the London Underground. It's a waste of money. Spent 10,000 quid, not one person was just not interested. It didn't work. But do you know what? The Press and Journal, people come down from Aberdeen. I don't know why, but it worked. It worked. Hundreds of people. So you can actually measure offline as well using phones and QR codes. Very powerful. I'm not sure why I put this in. It's still there. It's a kind of fun tool. If you type a word in, a very silly type Bitcoin in, you can find people saying the sentiment. Are people saying nice things about it, neutral, negative? What other related keywords are there? Who are the top users? What are the top hashtags? You would put a travel related one in there, and you can find about keywords. There's also a great tool, two tools, one called Hotjar and Crazy Egg, and they're heat mapping tools. So even though I've kind of got you excited about Google Analytics, some people live by Crazy Egg. They just say, do you know what? Google Analytics is for mathematicians. It's too complex. You have to go on all these webinars. We just use Crazy Egg. So I've got a little short video here of a heat mapping tool called Crazy Egg, and you may want to. I think they still do a free version of it for so many days, and see what you think of this. It's basically kind of Google Analytics on steroids.
Okay, so look, the big problem that keeps small web businesses, well, small, is that they don't know why their visitors aren't converting. I mean, sure, your web analytics tool will give you loads of information about what happens with your visitors, but it doesn't give you any clues about why all those visitors leave your site without subscribing, without buying, without calling. Sorry, Google Analytics. But see, that's where most businesses just get stuck, and they stay stuck. It's a shame, really. And it's all because you can't make big improvements to your site's conversion rate until you know why your visitors are leaving, until you know where on your pages they're getting frustrated. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. And that's exactly why we built Crazy Egg. So you can see the elements on your pages that are causing visitors to hit the back button. But once you see all the stuff that's broken, you can fix it. And more of your visitors start buying now, opting in and calling up. Okay, so what do you get when you use Crazy Egg? A heat map tool to see the places where people click on your pages, so you can keep the things they like and change the things they don't. Is your most persuasive information positioned near the bottom of a page? The scroll map shows how far down people are scrolling and where they abandon the page. Yeah, now you can pinpoint where on the page to add more interest and where your most important content should go. When you look at the overlay report, you can see the number of clicks on each element of your page. Now you can work on getting more of the clicks that make you money and less on the ones that don't. With Confetti, you'll be able to distinguish all the clicks you get on your site segmented by referral sources, search terms, and more. Are you ignoring the most profitable segment of your audience? Confetti will tell you. But the best part is, you'll also see the call to action buttons and anchor text that needs to be fixed. And we made it super easy to get started. Almost too easy. Get your free Crazy Egg trial account right now. Copy and paste your tracking code and select the page you want to analyze. Yep, that's a 30-second setup, folks. Okay, so you might be thinking, can I track multiple domains, track HTTPS pages, iframes, and Flash objects? Yes, you can. And don't worry, we know that speed matters. So if you have millions of page views per day, or just a few dozen, our top-notch hosting infrastructure handles that too. Why not sign up for your free trial right now? Put Crazy Egg to the test for the next 30 days. Hey, it's on us. And grow your business like never before.
Yeah, Crazy. I just checked while we're online there, so there still is a free 30-day trial, so it's definitely worth playing with. You might like it. It becomes quite addictive, seeing all the heat maps and the confetti and everything. You see where your customers are and what they're doing. And it's very, very easy to learn, so hopefully that's useful. That's really all for today. We can move over to the Q&A if you've got any questions in connection with digital. Does anyone have any questions? Someone's asked, can you share the slides? The slides will be sent out at the end. You'll get copies of Microsoft PowerPoint slides, and you'll also get the video. So today's session was recorded. You'll get the recording. You'll get both. Lots of the slides have got links on them. You can click on the images and you go to videos and things. We didn't have time to play them all, so my apologies. Was there anything useful in there, or was that too much, overwhelming? Or as you can see, every tool has got analytics built into it, but sometimes the tools analytics like Twitter are not so good. Christina says, what social listening tools would you recommend for monitoring multiple different social accounts? I think probably Hootsuite's one of the better tools for that. They can get a bit overwhelming, Hootsuite. It's just sort of cross-posting, and then you start getting into reporting. If you're just using, maybe say you're just interested in listening on Twitter, and Twitter's the ultimate listening tool. Big American corporations are hiring chief listening officers and paying them $300,000 a year, big money. So listening's important, as Kirsty mentioned. It's all very well broadcasting and social media and telling people what you do, but listening and intelligence is important. So built into Twitter is an amazing tool that perhaps going to start charging for. It's been there forever. So they have their own listening tool built in there called, just a senior moment, it's built into Tweet. It's called Tweetdeck. Okay, it's tweetdeck.twitter.com. So tweetdeck.twitter.com is a great tool. Yeah, there's lots of replacements for analytics. A lot of people have created replacement tools. Is Mention a social listening tool? No, it's not, Kirsty. I put social Mention. Sorry, yeah, social Mention's not. But Mention's a good tool. Absolutely, yes, it is a good listening tool. And if it's just Twitter, go for TweetDeck. But a lot of people have created competitors to Google Analytics. But to be honest, say you got some CMS, or you've gone Squarespace, Shopify, some CMS, and they say, we've got our own analytics tool and it's free, and that's fine. That's fine. Plug in their analytics tool and it's free, and it maybe does do amazing analytics. You maybe like it. The problem is if you decide to do Google Ads and they don't integrate with Google Ads, because Google Ads and Google Analytics and the Google Search Console and Google My Business, they all come together eventually. So you're a bit at a disadvantage. It'd be difficult to get rid of Google Analytics once you've got it. Remember, if you do have an old Google Analytics, at some point, if you go in, there's a button saying upgrade to new version. So at some point, you're going to have to go to Google Analytics version 4. I'm sure they'll run the 2 for a number of years. Remember the very first slide I showed you, and it's quite important, is having a plan, having a strategy, having a document. What are you trying to achieve? We've got a website, and there's no e-commerce. We're in the tourism industry, and we're not actually selling widgets. It's not cat food. We're a visitor attraction. We don't actually even have a shop. It's just it's a castle thing or something. So we want people to come to our visitors. So what's the purpose of the website? Well, it might be saying call us. I don't know. You convert. Oh yeah, good. Well, yes, we've got disabled access or something. It's quite an accessible destination. And one of the purposes of the website might be to get people to call, because perhaps you can book them manually or something. Hopefully, there's some sort of online booking system. It would be good if people can automate things, because it's 3 a.m. and here in San Francisco. Can you influence a TripAdvisor Google ranking at what for one attraction and one poor traffic gets on top of the search? Yeah. Let me just think about this. Can you run a project and only one poor cafe kept to be on top of the search engine? TripAdvisor is obviously an emotive subject. It's a very, very important thing in the world of tourism because people know about it. It's a recognised brand. There's hundreds of different review systems, but in the world of travel and tourism, TripAdvisor is there. Remember, you've got Google reviews, and Facebook reviews. Facebook reviews you can turn off. Google reviews, if you've got Google Business, are there as well. You have to pay attention to both. So this is a big subject. TripAdvisor, Advisor, or here's it.com, who knows? The TripAdvisor, let me talk about this because it is really important. So why am I hotel number 5 out of 50 in Edinburgh? Why am I, visitor attraction 3 out of 1,000? Why is this? And this is the ranking within. Google goes into TripAdvisor. So there's a few important things to say about TripAdvisor here. Google indexes TripAdvisor. Google visits your site every night looking for fresh, relevant, up-to-date content. And TripAdvisor's got tons of that. So is eBay. It goes into sites regularly. So it's in TripAdvisor all the time. So it means if there's good reviews and bad reviews, Google will index them and people will find them. So a few important things about it. Ranking within TripAdvisor, inside TripAdvisor, that's why am I hotel 3 out of 100, why am I 1 out of, why am I 99, why am I at the end, why am I not the top thing to do, or attraction or best golf, So there's 3 factors to do with ranking within TripAdvisor. The number 1 factor, it's a tough one, is volume, number of reviews. So, if someone says, do you know what, that was beautiful, I really enjoyed that, you should be on your knees begging for a review. It means a lot to us. We're a small business. Please leave a review. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. So number of reviews is important. That's the number 1 ranking factor inside TripAdvisor. All the review systems, by the way, are these ranking factors. The second one is what they review, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was awful, it was wonderful, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most TripAdvisor reviews are 4.5 is the average, so most are good. The third it's a difficult one. It's a time decay factor, 1/T. So it's how old is the review? So if you had 10,000 5-star reviews from 15 years ago and I had 2 5-star reviews from yesterday, I'm probably above you because they decay. They're still there, but their effect on ranking decays. So it's easy for me to sit here and say this and difficult for you to do, but you want lots of good, up-to-date recent reviews. You want lots, that's the volume, up-to-date, lots of up-to-date recent reviews. You want all 3. But coming back to Google indexing TripAdvisor, I've just told you about the rank inside TripAdvisor. I remember it was a hotel up north and they had about 5,000 5-star reviews, 1 bad review. Now the good reviews were good and the guy said thank you. That was nice, being polite, so you should. The 1 bad review, he responded to it. There's 2 bad reviews out of thousands. He responded to me and he said, that's the ABC hotel, we're very embarrassed, dirty bed sheets. But he went through it all. What Google did was index that. So if somebody leaves a good review, of course you say thank you. If somebody leaves a bad review, never, ever, ever put your company name, destination name, your brand in the response to a negative review. Just say, we're very embarrassed that this happened, and don't say at EBC Visit Attraction, because Google index. So when I typed this hotel name, and the first thing that comes up, like you said, was this 1 bad review. He only had 2 bad reviews, thousands are good, because he put his company name in there, so Google indexed it. So don't put your response in there as well. Somebody said it should be otherwise attraction to reference. Actually, I worked with somebody recently, and they had thousands of recent, good, up-to-date, fresh, relevant reviews, 5-star, and they were in page, who knows what. They were really low ranking TripAdvisor. And then we found out, and some friends at TripAdvisor, and I phoned up and I said, your algorithm, I know the algorithm, but this is wrong. And he goes, oh yeah, we punish visitor attractions that have a captive animal policy. And it was a zoo. I was like, oh right, okay. That's a tough one. So for some reason, TripAdvisor made that decision. They just, if you got fooled with some kangaroos in it or something, they probably won't like it. It's an odd one, but it's now, they've come public about it. Is there any other questions before we finish off? You're going to get all the slides and you get the video, so don't worry. Hopefully there's something in there useful to you. We did cover a lot.
Stephen, I was just going to say there was a question from Jess further up, just asking about any free content planner tools or templates that you might recommend.
All right, content planning tools. Okay, we never really cover content planning, obviously a very important subject. The analytics is going to tell you what content people like, and you should have a plan. I can possibly bring one up on screen just now. There's literally zillions online. I mean, free planning tools, literally from basic spreadsheets to, VBA, Visual Basic Analytics stuff. So there's tons online that are free that you can download if you just go and I don't know any specific ones from specific companies, but you're going to have to fill them in. So a content planner is a very, very, very important thing to do. You know, you might be, what we're going to talk about today, well, actually, it's something Independence Day. You know, you've got a plan, you know what you're going to talk about. You don't have to stick to that plan, but at least you've got a plan. So I can't recommend, you know, XYZ company. Jess says we've got a spreadsheet. I've got various spreadsheets. Let me just see if I can just find one right now for you, just very, very quickly. I'm just going to have a look and see if I can find one. I should be able to because I use them all. But you just literally Google them and download them and customize them for yourself. Because, you know, you might, Scottish holidays might be important to you and they're not in there. This is very, very crude, right? Very, very crude. So, generic calendar. And it's typically broken down by months, days of the week, months, or whatever. New Year's, a static one. Chinese is lunar and floats around, and Burns is on the 25th. But these are events that are important to you and your customers. There's the school term, midterm break. If that's not important, you wouldn't have it. But you can literally download pre-populated ones. And what are you going to do on Burns night? What do you mean, what we're going to do? Well, we're going to do a blog. Oh yeah, we're updating our website. No, we're doing an email campaign. We're doing something offline. We're doing a special Pinterest board. We're opening up our board. We're doing collaboration, you know, intervention, if you like. So this isn't to say you have to do all this. It's just to give you ideas. A content plan is to give you ideas what you're going to do, who you're going to talk to, what you're going to say about what, about specific times. And all of these will be different for you. All of them will be different. Most of your visitors are, you know, cruise tourism from America or something. There'll be a lot of American stuff in there, perhaps, and that's important. So the content, it depends again who you're talking to. People have already been. You want to inspire them to come back. Different types of content, and different campaigns, or reaching out to new people. So there's lots of stuff online. And I can't say here's our website, download this one. That's just a random spreadsheet. Just revisit it and update it and check everything's okay. I mean, Burns Night, this is just random. This would say here 20th of January, but you don't want to wake up in the morning and go, oh, right, it's Burns Night. Or, you know, it's the Berlin food show or something. Maybe the week before you might want to say, see us at the, you know, the San Francisco travel show at Stand 55 or with, you know, SDI or something. You might want to talk about it before the event as opposed to it's just suddenly appeared. Got lots of websites to try out. So Spy Food, to look at your competitors, what they're spending on ads, and SimilarWeb, have a look at the traffic that's going to your other competitors' websites. You can see their Google Analytics. That's quite important. Where is your competitor? They're really, really busy and you're not. You know, where are they getting these people from? Are they all repeat businesses? Is it all maybe Visit Scotland? I've got a link and maybe we should talk to Visit Scotland. They've got a digital story on them and all the traffic's coming from that story. I don't, but you certainly have to measure things. So thank you very much for coming along. Hopefully that was useful, and all the best when things open up, which I hope is soon.